Welcome to the Conscious Living Podcast, conversations to educate, empower, and enlighten our world. An uplifting and inspiring series of conversations and talks with your host, Jackie Woodside. We are educating minds, empowering lives, and enlightening souls to create a world where love prevails. In this engaging podcast, we deliver exciting, positive, transformative talks and teachings designed to elevate your life. Now, let's join our host, Jackie Woodside, for this week's session.
Hello, everyone. Welcome again to the Conscious Living Podcast, where we are here to educate, empower, and enlighten your world, bringing you strategies to live more consciously with time, money, and even life itself. Don't you just love that notion? Being more conscious in your life. I know that that's why you listen to this podcast. That's what you're committed to in your walk in life, as am I. And every week, I seek to bring you interesting guests, or sometimes just me, talking about various areas of life where sometimes we go unconscious. And one of the areas that I find after 30 years of coaching, one of the areas that I find that people often go unconscious is the space that you live in. In one of my coaching forums, I call it your physical environments, the quality and condition of your home, your office, your files, even your car, the cleanliness, the organization, the functionality. How are your physical environments serving you? And how conscious are you about the energy and vibration that you are creating and experiencing due to your physical space? So that's what we're going to dive into today. I love the topic. I am big on the energy of place and the energy of space. So I'm really looking forward to today's conversation. I'm going to be introducing you to Danijela. Danijela, I forgot already. Saponjic. How did I do?
Saponjic. It's Saponjic.
Saponjic.
No worries.
Danijela hails from Germany, hence my trouble with her last name, given that I don't speak German. But Danijela is the founder of the School of Spiritual Design. How cool is that? She is a Feng Shui expert and someone who has dedicated her life to helping entrepreneurs, business owners, and everyday people, everyone who want to experience greater flow, ease, and miracles given the space that they're in. So I'm really looking forward to diving into this topic. Danijela, do you want to just say a few more things about yourself and how you got into Feng Shui and help our listeners get to know you a little bit more?
Oh, absolutely. Thank you very much, Jackie, for your, now I've confused your name. I'm so sorry. So Jackie, for your introduction and also the invitation. I'm super, super excited to be here, as you can hear. And so I got, so the path led me to Feng Shui when I was 25, 26 years old. I was freshly graduated from university, and I wanted to start a career in the corporate world, in the marketing. So this was my lifelong dream. And back then, I couldn't find a job. There were many reasons why, but today I know I always call them masters of life. It's like my inner guidance was like, no, that's not the right career path for you. Yeah. So they just okay, let's look around. And I was really devastated. And back then I wasn't connected to Feng Shui or to space or anything, absolutely not. But at the lowest point in my life back then, I started to read, and I came across an article about clutter clearing. And they were saying, if you change something in your space, your life can change. And I did not believe this. So I got into this topic because I wanted to prove that it's not right.
Wrong, right? So, no, that's not. That can't be a thing. That can't be a thing.
No, I mean, it's the year 2004, and I was just 26. So and I told my husband, well, it won't harm us if we clutter clear our apartment. Let's do it. And we moved so much clutter, so many things. And it was a weekend, and on Monday and Tuesday, two things happened. So, we got a yes for our new apartment, which we were waiting for like weeks. And then we got a payment from the government, which was also due like weeks or months ago. And then it was like, oh, there must be something to it. Well, this was the starting point, and this was 20 years ago.
Good, good, beautiful. Yeah, it is a thing. I have similar. I have something, part of my coaching work called the Strong Foundation Inventory, and part of it is going to clean out all of your spaces. And I have people do it with intention, and I have story after story after story of just the miracles that unfold when people do that. In fact, one of my favorites, I'll just share it briefly, was a client that had so much clutter that they literally had filled 2 dumpsters full of stuff from yeah, can you imagine? Their home, their attic, and they weren't poor by any means, but kind of always living on the edge financially. They'd get ahead and then something would happen and they'd get ahead. And so they were always kind of, struggling financially. And so they set the intention that they would have greater ease and flow with money through doing this clearing out process. And it sounds like I'm making this up. It's so fantastical. But right after they had the second dumpster taken away and their house was looking amazing, one of them had I can't remember if it was a cousin or an uncle who had developmental disabilities. He was an adult, an older man, had lived by himself and worked as a school janitor for many, many years. And then one day he didn't show up to work and people were wondering. So my client went to check on him. And in fact, he had passed overnight in his sleep. Well, as they were cleaning out his things, they found a big green garbage bag all the way up to their waist in the closet. And they picked it up and it was very light. And they opened it up and it was filled with cash. And that was within 5 days of their finishing this very intentional process of bringing financial ease into their lives. So I'll just share that story to set you up, Danijela, to talk to us about the energy of space and how creating flow and being conscious of the energy in our space impacts our experience of life. I want to start with a concept that you shared with me earlier about the soul of a place. And I want to ask you about that, what you mean by that, maybe a new concept to people. But before you dive in, I want to share with you that the name of my home, in fact, I have a nameplate on the front of it carved in stone, is Soul Haven. So I literally named our home Soul Haven. So let's dive in there. What do you mean when you talk about the soul of a place?
Yeah. So the soul, I believe that every soul has a space, every space has a soul, because I believe it has a consciousness, and how we treat our space is how it treats us. So either you feel it or not, but the way how you, as I said, how you treat your space is the energy you're getting back. So in Feng Shui, I very often hear it, oh, we need to Feng Shui our home. And it's like a checklist. Oh, you need to do this, check. You need to do this, check. But what do people forget is the first thing is to connect to your home. And connecting to your home is easier when you know there is a soul. There is, there is a being, and the consciousness of the space is very innocent. It's like a child, it's like a tree. So, and it's there, it's like, let me help you, can I please support you? And you could just go like, yes, my beautiful home, let's team up, let's make this happen. So for example, when I travel, we have 2 homes. We live in Germany and we live in Serbia. So at the moment, our home in Serbia is empty. So when we left, I was like, okay, my beautiful home, we will be traveling for 2 months. Take care, stay safe, keep my beautiful plants alive. And, we'll see each other in 8 weeks. So, and this is when I come home, it's like, it's welcoming me. It's like open arms and, hey, it's great that you're back. And this is the same what I do with my German home. And it just helps so much. And you never feel alone.
It's so beautiful. I love that. Again, it's funny, I've just recently met, but it's odd how aligned we are. When I leave home, I say goodbye to the pets and I say goodbye to the house. And I wish it well. I also have 2 homes and I'm back and forth between them. And I'm very intentional about when I leave either of our properties, upstate New York or Massachusetts, leaving everything in very orderly fashion. Everything is put away, everything is cleaned up, because I want the energy of the space to be calming, and I don't know, aligned with its with its purpose. So, what are your thoughts about what do we do that enhances the energy, the consciousness of the space, and what do we do that detracts from the consciousness of the space or creates a more low vibe?
Mhm. So, I mean, we talked about clutter clearing a lot, and I feel that's the starting point. Um, and we in Feng Shui, we say always life force energy. And this is what happens when you clutter clear. It's like, oh, I feel in flow and miracle things happen. They really happen. You shared a story. I also have tons of stories
Yeah.
to share. Just after clutter, we didn't even get to the Feng Shui part or space activation. We just clear the home. So I feel this is the very first step to get the energy flow. And energy, it's life force energy. A life force energy is what brings us vitality, what brings us opportunities, what brings inspiration, what brings aliveness. It's not just air and it's not just energy. It has a meaning to it. So everything what enhances the energy, what elevates the life flow is elevating also our space, and it's elevating us because our space is just is an extension of our body. So instead of only working with our body, we can see our space as our extended body. So even when I dress, I'm just looking, oh, how does it fit? How does it look on me? And this is the same when let's just simply say decorate my home or my office. It's like I just don't put things mindlessly somewhere or because it's a trend. I just think about, oh, is it something which is going to fit my home? How is my home going to look? Or my office? Is it inspiring me? How am I connecting to this? So it's not the thing you change or the furniture you change or put up. It's more your connection to the piece which elevates the energy. Because, Jackie, I've been in the most beautiful homes, be it in the United States or in Germany or in Serbia. And I have seen so many unhappy people in those beautiful homes. I couldn't even start describing because it was everything beautiful, but nothing was connected. It was a concept.
What do you mean everything's beautiful but not connected? What do you mean by that?
Yeah. So what I mean, it's the families, they would say, oh, this and this interior designer designed this home. And this is, the latest trend and whatever. But they're like, but this is not me. It's beautiful, but it's not me.
Yeah.
So this is the disconnect. So I usually tell them, I know it was expensive, but we're not going to redecorate everything, but just let's take out the things where you don't feel aligned with. Let's just take them out and just create space. And then, piece by piece, and usually we don't need to, redecorate everything. It's just a few pieces you need to adjust. So I always say it makes just this click in the energy, and everything is like, whew, everything relaxes.
Wow.
The
So
people, the energy. Yeah.
so even by changing just the decorations, you see that kind of a change in the energy.
Yeah, it's a first step. I mean, there is a lot of, we have energy from past tenants or the energy from the past times. This is one piece, but the simple, I love simple, fast steps, which you can take. Like you listen to this podcast, you're inspired, go ahead and go through your home, see what are the things or decorations in your home where you are not aligned with. They're there, they're nice, but you don't feel a connection to it. Just take them away for a moment. Just put them somewhere in a closet and see how the energy of the space changes.
So when you say you're not aligned with it, say more about what that means.
So I have developed this concept. I love the concept of future selfing. You've probably heard about it. It's just amazing. And I was thinking, okay, how can we invite our space to be a process, a part of the future selfing concept? So if I see myself in a certain energy with certain things, for example, in the future, how can I create this energy which I feel for my future in my present home?
Okay.
So your home, instead of just having a vision board, you can think about how can you really create, like, I don't like to say a 3D vision board, but how can you future self your home according to the energy you want to be in, or according to the goal you want to reach in the future. So you call in the future, and this is also, enhancing the manifestation process.
Right.
And it's working for you.
Wow. My mind is going a mile a minute. I love what you're saying. So I want to just add some of my thinking from a neuroscience perspective. What you're doing when you future self, and then what you're saying is take actions to bring things into your home that are reflective of your future self, your future energy. From neuroscience, there's something in your brain called the salience network. And the salience network is that part of your brain that pays attention to things. And when you pay attention to certain things over and over and over again, like in your physical environment, it embeds things into your subconscious mind to go out and get them, go out and create it. So what you're saying, pay attention to your future self in your current environment, create the current environment that reflects your future self. And what that will do for you in terms of manifestation, exactly as you said, is it aids and hastens the manifestation process because you're already creating the energy to receive the future self.
Right. And it can be very simple. It can be a certain pen. It can be, for me, it was back then, it was crystal glasses. I love beautiful things. And I always had I have 4 children. So, I had this IKEA glasses, which are really fine, but I was just holding them. And then when I go to a nice hotel or restaurant, I have this beautiful glasses. Like, okay, I'm going to future self myself. So I bought these glasses and everybody's like, are you crazy? I have 4 children. It's like, I don't care. This is more important to me.
Right. Oh, I love that. So I'll have you coach me a little bit. So I have 2 summer homes in upstate New York, and one of them I just bought. They're right next door to each other. They both belonged to my family, my great aunt and uncle, and the other great aunt and uncle. And I've been in my family for 6 generations. I grew up here. So one of them I just bought 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, I can't remember. And it's my 3rd summer in it. Yeah. Anyway, so I just bought that one, and that's the one that we're living in. We're using the other one as a guest cottage. And the people that we bought it from, my great aunt and uncle, and they just moved out, basically handed us the keys. So we have all of their 1970s furniture from back in the day. We got rid of truckloads of stuff, literally truckloads, and a dumpster full of stuff that they had lived, been there since the 1950s, literally. And then we brought in our own dining furniture, but the living room furniture, I'm like, we're going to renovate this. We're going to tear it down and rebuild a home. And so I've left this kind of not my style 1970s, big plaid couch and a Barca lounger and, in the living room. And I don't like it, I don't like it. We repainted, we recarpeted, we did simple things because I knew it's going to take us a few years before we can tear it down and rebuild. But in that kind of a situation where it's kind of temporary, kind of unpleasant, what would you do in that space to make it more tenable, more aligned exactly to future self? Because I know I want to tear it down and have a beautiful year-round home where I now have a cottage.
Yeah, so you can create, let's say, chi attraction points, because this furnishing is blending in. And then if you bring in a few pieces, it can be paintings or pictures or something very special, something you own, you love, and then you put it up or put it on a wall, you create a chi attraction point. So what happens, where attention goes, energy flows, right? So you enter your living room, and instead of seeing all this furniture you don't like, your attention is drawn to the painting or the picture on a wall, which you're connected. So, and this is the first, this is very simple, but it draws your attention to something you love and not to something you don't.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. Well, we have big, beautiful windows that look over the St. Lawrence River and onto Canada and the islands out front. It's
Yeah.
absolutely gorgeous. And I did add a beautiful photo collage of us doing things on the river. My son jumping off a boathouse and us sitting out at sunset. So we did do that. So I guess I intuitively knew to bring in our own energy to the space. Did you call it a chi attractor? Is that what you called it?
Yes, that's
So
how I call them. Yeah.
yeah, so
You
so
want me to?
let's talk about that concept of chi attractors. I love that. I'm borrowing that. My chi attractor. I
Sure.
love it.
Yeah. Yeah. And there are some things when I studied Feng Shui and I was doing it, it's very often you need to block energy. And we are constantly talking about blocking. And I don't like this word. So I was like, okay, instead of constantly blocking and telling also my clients, you need to block, 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 I was like, okay, let's move, just take a step back up a little bit and say, if I enter a home, where is my attention flowing? Where is my attention going? And if there is nothing special, the chi is also not flowing anywhere. So
Mm,
let's create attraction points. So when I enter home, the home or a space or a room, I automatically see something what I like, which what empowers me, what inspires me, instead of just going into a space which is well, I don't know the word might be mute or just like nothing special.
okay.
So I created a concept of let's create chi attraction points.
I love that. And when you create chi attraction points, it's putting something meaningful or something beautiful in the space. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So a beautiful painting or a family memento, something that's meaningful.
Yeah, it can also be couch cushions. Like if you have something special, it can be a carpet, it can be flowers, it can be plants, it can be color, it can be light, lamps or something. So it's often and very, very often, you don't even need to buy anything. You just, very often when I'm with clients, we start rearranging things. We
Yeah.
just take the lamp and put it in a different corner, or take the picture of the wall and put it somewhere else. And we just try out. I always say, don't be afraid to try out things. You don't need to rebuild your home or renovate. Just try out things. And I can give many recommendations, but you have your feeling. And I always encourage everybody, just try things out until your feeling is right, because you know when it's right. I can do recommendations, but I don't know how you feel. So
Yeah.
just follow your feeling and let me guide you and not tell you what you need to do.
Beautiful. So let's talk a little bit about how, you're talking about activating energy and chi attractors. How does activating this energy help people live, a more purposeful, more meaningful, happier life? What's the correlation between the energy of space and my overall experience of life?
Mhm. So it helps them live a more meaningful life. Mhm. Um, so for me, it is that their home or their office, they become an oasis. So life is busy. We
Yeah.
cannot influence things which are out there. We just, we cope with them, we work with them, we make the best out of it. But in your home, or in your office, you really have the possibility to influence the energy. You can really create an oasis out of it. And as I said, your home and your office is an extension of your energy field. So I always say we do need a lot of energy for our everyday life or to reach our goals, to create something amazing. So the energy in your home. So
Mm.
let's create a home where the energy level is higher than ours so that it can nourish us. So
And
we have more power to go out there and create amazing things.
that's amazing. So, first of all, how do you do that? And secondly, the two questions at once. How do you know that you're creating energy that's higher than your own? And how do you do that?
Okay, so in Feng Shui, we have this the saying of the vampire effect. So the vampire effect is when your home is draining you, and you will feel a draining home is when you don't rejuvenate, you don't sleep well, you feel at a hotel, you feel better than in your home, and you feel melancholic after a holiday or something. You're like, oh, I need to go to my home. This hotel is much more beautiful than my home. So these are just something you can start thinking about. So your home, should come into your home, and your home is embracing you. You just, no matter what's happening in your life, you're like, yay, I'm home. This is my castle. This is where I, live up, light up. So, and you truly have a open heart, and you love your space. You just love it. You feel empowered by it. So this is two things. One is your personal energy, where you can feel if you are, as I said, not rejuvenating. And the other one is how you feel towards your home. And how do you do this? It's the first thing we talked about, some of the steps. Connecting to your space. I have a beautiful exercise. I always call it butterfly exercise. Officially, we call it a little bit different. I can send you the link. And it's a very short process with a small meditation, how you can, within 5 minutes, connect to the space to the soul of your space, and then just take it from there. You can, it's just amazing. So I'm not going to explain it here. So you can do it. Then the next one is, of course, decluttering. And then the next one is the future selfing concept. So just go through your home with the knowledge which you got from this podcast episode, and really look at the things which are not aligned with your self today and not aligned with your future vision, and just take them away, even if they are not clutter now.
I love it. Wow. It makes me think I need to replace the furniture now. that big quad couch and love seat and the big Barca lounger. It's definitely not my future self energy. Let's put it that way, Danijela. Hey, I want to, so thank you. That's super, super helpful. I love this notion of future selfing your space. That's definitely kind of be my big takeaway. I am incredibly mindful about how I create space around me. Naming our homes, our home in Massachusetts, as I said, is Soul Haven. We have 2 homes next to each other on the St. Lawrence River. We call these River Haven. Our second haven for our soul, for sure. And, people often remark when they come into our homes, like, oh, wow, I love it here. The energy is just so great. So I'm very mindful of this. So thank you for really highlighting that, simple things like decluttering, and then decluttering with intention, bringing meaningful things into your space, removing things that don't have meaning. Last summer, my Uncle Bob passed away. My Uncle Tom cleaned out more of my grandmother's things as he downsized his house, and my mother moved into a nursing care facility. All 3 of them, so my grandmother, my uncle, and my mother. So I inherited so much stuff, and there's the guilt of like, yeah, but this was my grandmother's, or this was mom's, and this has been in the family. And, so address that for us a little bit. Not guilt. There is a sense of love and connection and legacy and heritage. And I only have so much space to have my uncle, my grandmother, and my mother, downsizing significantly over a short period of time. I had a huge influx of things. So let's address that, because I know a lot of people are in that, generation where their parents need to downsize and they end up with truckloads of stuff. So let's address that a little bit.
Yeah, I absolutely understand it. And I just would love to share a short story with a person I worked in Germany years ago. He was 74 when he asked me to work with him, because he said, I asked him, why do you want to declutter your home? And he said, if I would have to move to another home tomorrow and pick up my most important 2 things, things in 2 suitcases, I would have no idea what to pack. So we worked together until he died for 7 or 8 years. It was so amazing. And I just want to encourage everyone, it's never too late. So he started back then with 80. He was writing. he was painting his house and he started dancing lessons. So, and at his funeral, his children came to me and he's like, "Oh, you are the reason why grandpa was alive again." And I was like, "Oh, thank you so much." So
Oh, that's
it was
beautiful.
very beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to share this. And there was a situation where we found in a closet the diaries of his mother, where she was describing the pregnancy and the first years of life from him.
Wow.
And he's like, "What do I do with this?" And they were handwritten. They were amazing. I mean, and I don't know if, well, so, and then he said, "Okay, I don't need them. I do love them, but it's clutter." And I was like, "No way, this is not clutter." So we created a box with the most precious memories. And this is what then he chose, and the rest was good to go.
Beautiful.
We made a ritual to let it go.
Yeah.
And this is something I would really recommend. You don't have to throw it out or give everything away. Just create this sentimental, emotional box where you can open up and dive deep into memories, and then consciously decide what you're letting go. You can create a little ritual about it, give it gratitude, and just, open up and let it go. So you create a space for the new things, new life, new opportunities to flow into your life and space.
Great. I love that. I love that. I love that notion of creating a memory box. It's really beautiful. I have a couple of those for my marriage, things that I've put into a beautiful box to keep. So that's beautiful. Tell me about the School of Spiritual Design. What is that, and how did you come upon the notion of founding it?
So years ago, I was asked in Germany if I could do Feng Shui certifications, and I said no. Because I don't have the permission, and so on and so on. But then back then, my mentor said, if people, and I had 10 people asking me. And then she said, if people are asking you, then you should look into it. As this is what I did. And what I found out is that I am a teacher. This is who I am. I just didn't know it back then. So I started to teach Feng Shui in Germany. I started to teach space healing also in Germany. And then I had clients in the United States, and the people there were asking me, "Can you teach us this too?" And I was like, "Well, again, here we go again."
Yeah, yeah.
And this is when I understood that it's time to create a school, and I named it the School of Spiritual Design because it's spirituality, but we are not interior designer, but we are not just, talking energy. We are really moving things. We are really designing space. We are designing lives. So this is how the name came, the School of Spiritual Design. And so I'm teaching in Germany for around 12 years. And I have just opened up a new course of space activation, the space activation certification for my English-speaking clients.
Wow, that is so impressive. Total aside, how many languages do you speak?
3.
3. Wow. So English, German, and what's the language of Serbia?
And Serbian.
Serbian. Okay. Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
And which is your home country?
Well, German and Serbian are
Both.
my both. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool. I
Yeah.
love the multicultural aspect. So Danielle, I know people, especially if you work with people in the United States, people are going to want to know where to find you and how to talk more with you about what you've brought to us today. Where's the best way for people to find you and be in touch?
So the best way is indeed to go to my website. Excuse me. It's unfoldingspace.com. And this is where you will find all the information. Of course, I'm on Instagram. It's unfolding space EN for English. But I guess we will also maybe connect it, write it in the show notes. But those are my 2 happy places. And from there, you can reach out to me at any time, and then we can take it from there.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for bringing your knowledge, your wisdom, and your enthusiasm for space clearing and the energy of space and spiritual design. It's just wonderful. Future selfing. I mean, you've brought such great concepts to us today. I feel inspired to go take a look at that living room again until I tear it down and build a new house. And, I'm just really glad that we had this time together. So thank you for your generosity and for being our guest.
Thank you so much for your invitation, and it's it's really an honor. Thank you so much, Jackie.
Of course.